It was a rainy Tuesday evening in Chicago. Wind tugged at coats and umbrellas danced against the current like broken wings. Most people rushed home from work, heads down, steps quick. But not Keanu Reeves. He stood under a broken street lamp outside a worn-out bookstore, hood over his head, looking at the rain as if it held answers he'd been searching for. Keanu wasn't filming. He wasn't traveling. He had flown to Chicago without an assistant, without security. Just a man with a carry-on and a deep ache in his chest. He had read something online. A blog post. Anonymous. Titled, "The Actor Who Saved My Life Without Knowing It." The writer didn't say his name. But the story, it was about Keanu. About how his movies had kept someone from ending their life. It hit Keanu harder than he expected. So he tracked the source, quietly, through contacts. All he had was a first name, Miles. And a location, Madison Street, West Chicago. He went searching. That's how he ended up there, on a wet sidewalk near a rundown diner, staring through a fogged-up window. Inside, at a booth near the back, sat a man in his early 30s. Hoodie frayed at the cuffs. Laptop open. Fingers paused above the keys. Keanu walked in. The bell above the door chimed. The man didn't look up. He was used to background noise. "Hey," Keanu said gently, approaching the booth. "Are you Miles?" The man froze. He looked up slowly. His face changed. "No way." Keanu smiled faintly. "Mind if I sit?" Miles stared at him, stunned. I thought this was a prank." "It's not." "Why are you here?" Keanu paused. "Because your words mattered. And because you reminded me of myself, before all of this." Miles blinked. "You read it?" "Every word." They sat in silence. Then Miles whispered, "I didn't think anyone would." Keanu leaned forward. "I did. And I wanted to say thank you, for surviving." Miles looked down. "You're the first person who's ever said that to me." Over coffee and cheap fries, Miles told his story. Former film student. Big dreams. A sudden tragedy. His brother died in a hit and run. After that, everything unraveled. Dropped out. Lost his apartment. Depression clawed at his days. But one night, he watched The Matrix again. Not for the action, but because Neo believed he could change something, and that gave Miles a reason to stay alive. "I figured," Miles said, "if someone like you, who lost so much, could still be kind, still move forward, maybe I could too." Keanu was silent. Then softly said, "I still have bad days." Miles looked surprised. "Everyone thinks because I'm Keanu Reeves, I have it all together. But some nights, I walk miles just to feel the ground under my feet. It's how I remind myself I'm real." He reached into his coat and pulled out a worn Polaroid. A young woman. She was smiling. "My sister," he said. "Kim." Miles nodded. "The one who passed?" Keanu nodded. "Leukemia. I would have given anything to trade places." "Anything." Miles said nothing. "But you know what kept me going?" Keanu asked. "The idea that maybe, someday, someone else would need me to be here. Just to show that you can lose everything. And still be gentle." Tears welled in Miles' eyes. That night, Keanu didn't just talk, he listened, to every trauma. Every abandoned script. Every time Miles was told you're not enough. And then, Keanu said, "You are." He handed Miles a small black notebook. "I used this to write scenes when I was your age. It's empty now. I think it belongs to you." Miles held it like it was sacred. Weeks passed, then months. Keanu kept in touch. Quietly. No press. No cameras, Miles wrote. Pages turned into chapters. Chapters became a screenplay. 1 year later, Keanu produced it. The film premiered at Sundance, a story about a man who meets a stranger in a diner, and both of them leave changed. Critics called it raw, heartfelt, and deeply human. But Miles? He just called it real. Sometimes the person who saves you isn't wearing a cape, they're just wearing a hoodie and holding out a notebook.